If you don't know McKinley Jackson, I invite you to do some exploration. Thank you to Janet for sharing so boldly. Thank you to you all for braving the storm to be here. Thank you to Gary for helping make that video happen. Thank you to Lynn for filling in on the music today. I was a little stretched to put this service together, to celebrate Mother's Day and the flower communion when there are so many troubles in our world, and how to hold those two in tension. And I got to looking at my computer, and when in doubt, I go to Google. Google is a great Mother's Day present, I think. It has an endless supply of answers to all those questions that we can have, that I started to have when I was very young. The whys and the what fors. What are the names of those flowers? Why is the sky blue? What are the names of the stars in the sky? What is Ramadan? Who played Albus Dumbledore in those first Harry Potter movies? When you're little, you have these questions, right? If you've ever spent any time around a 3-year-old or so, you get a lot of why. Why? Why? It's like we're hardwired to ask these questions, to ask, why is the sky blue? What makes flowers grow? Why do bad things happen? Where do we go when we die? Why must we keep mourning dead children hailed as heroes for laying down their lives in yet another school shooting? Google has yet to provide me with an answer to those questions, because that is only where we humans can go. The robots have not yet learned how to be curious. And it is our curiosity that is our theme for this month. And it is our curiosity, to me, that makes us fundamentally human. Curiosity is not unique to us, but it is fundamentally human, in my estimation. So in pondering curiosity, I started to think about what it is and what it means for us. What does curiosity help us do? That it allows us to access these bigger questions. It allows us to access the deepest part of our human lives. We have these questions about what it means to be good, to do good, why do bad things happen? And our curiosity allows us to reach into those, to search for answers. Because that's really what it's about, right? When we start when we're little, it's not that we're just questioning just to question or to be annoying, although sometimes it feels like that. But it's about trying to find these answers. And curiosity helps us move past the surface level of the world, where we're just kind of going through and seeing things. Curiosity helps us to reach deeper, to really notice the flowers, to be with the flowers. It's a central part of our humanity. Without curiosity, we'd just be walking along, living or existing, but not really thriving. Not quite yet. Curiosity is that thing that helps you go to a dinner party, and instead of just doing the small talk, hey, how's it going? What's new in your life? It lets you go deeper. What's going on with your soul? That's where the humanity connects. That's where it kicks in. And without curiosity, without these questions, I don't know that we can get there. Curiosity is what makes us come alive. It's what makes life, life, and not just a TV show that we're watching. So I think curiosity is fundamentally human, and it helps us reach and connect to our emotions and our deep spiritual feelings. But I think it's also a part of our spiritual practice, curiosity. And this might seem counterintuitive, especially if you grew up with the notion that curiosity or questions or doubt was not to be a part of faith or church or religious life, that you're somehow not spiritual if you constantly have questions, if you're constantly seeking, if you're constantly doubting, that somehow means you're not a person of faith. So I don't know many things for sure. I believe a lot of things as a person of faith, but I don't know many things. But I know this. Questions and doubt and searching for answers are an essential part of faith. If you show me a person of faith who knows that they are right and knows the truth and knows that their theology is correct and is trying to convince you that it is correct beyond all doubt, I will show you a person who is actually deeply insecure and deeply afraid and deeply lying to themselves so they can lie to you, so they can lie to themselves to try and make themselves feel better. Doubt is an essential part of our faith. And that kind of fundamentalism that says, I alone have the truth, is dangerous. And it's not only because it creates the need to impose your will on others, creates the conditions for religious wars, creates the conditions for people to kill in the name of Jesus, in the name of Allah, to kill, to maim, to destroy the goodness of the world in the name of corporate greed. That kind of fundamentalism is dangerous because I think it exists without curiosity. It labels curiosity as something dangerous or something inherently non-religious. Right? If you're not allowed to ask questions because the truth is here in this book or here in this person, there's something wrong there. We are made to question. We are designed to seek answers. We are designed to keep searching, to keep seeking. We learn yes and no really quickly when we're little. And then one of the next things we learn is why. Yes, no, why? I don't think it's a coincidence that that's the pattern and that our faith kind of follows that pattern. We want to know what is, we want to know what isn't, what we are and what we are not, and then we want to know why. So I think of it like this. Curiosity is the stem of a flower. Our spiritual lives are the petals. Our faith, our doubt, our deep feelings, our deep connections, this is all the stuff that blooms and gives life its beauty. The water, the air, the sunlight, that's the stuff we experience. The stuff that feeds us, that informs us. But we can't get from there and from the water to here, to the things that bloom, without our curiosity. It's what helps us to always be blooming. So the flowers are wonderful metaphors. I kind of like my metaphor. I kind of like the link between curiosity, faith, doubt, the representation of our human lives, all this stuff that is blooming. But I also like the fact that the kids picked up on it. They're blooming. They're expressive. They're beautiful. And they're also fleeting. And they're destined to an end. Because for me, the ultimate curiosity, maybe for you too, the ultimate curiosity I have is about this life that is finite, that is mortal. What happens to us when we die? What comes next? So I have my beliefs, right? I feel very strongly about them, but that's kind of irrelevant, right? I'm not overly concerned with what happens next. I like to think about it a lot. But the fact that I'm so concerned, that I think about it so much, actually reinforces now. It reinforces the time in the bowl, where we're soaking up all these experiences and we're blooming as these petals, and yet it is fleeting. Life is like these flowers. It is precious, but it is impermanent. And it makes it more urgent to soak it in, to appreciate the life that we have, the life that we're living. It makes me want to seek out all these answers, to ask all the questions. It makes me more questioning, more curious. I want to hear all the songs, try all the dances, go all the places, eat all the foods. More. And yet, it's not just about more. It's not just about exploring more, reaching more. It's also about finding a kind of balance. That if we're always looking for more beyond, outside, we miss what's right in front of us. So searching for this balance, right, that curiosity, I think, is neither good nor bad, right? Some people label it as bad. It's like curiosity killed the cat. I don't know who came up with that. I don't think I believe that. I think curiosity is just kind of neutral, right? It is. It is something that helps us live more fully human lives. It helps us connect to our emotions, our deep spiritual feelings, helps us connect to one another, helps us ask questions of one another. It reminds us that our time is finite, that we can soak it in while we're here. But I think one of the cool uses of curiosity is that it also helps us heal, helps us find restoration. Curiosity, I believe, can be an act of care for a weary soul. We heard about some experiences that can be hurtful and how reconnecting may be a way of healing. I think it's our curiosity that gets us there. If you think about a time when you have felt the pressure of the world, existential, anxiety, stress, worry about the political situation, there are a lot of things that can threaten to overwhelm us. There's a lot to be upset about. There's a lot to be angry about. In doing some research, I think that curiosity might be a self-care tool for times like these. When it's gray outside and the weather is dreary, and you're feeling angry or sad or depressed, and you don't really know why. Anybody ever felt like that? Sometimes you need to feel those things, right? I'm not telling you not to feel these things. But for me, sometimes I can get stuck. If I'm feeling angry or stressed or depressed, I start to get upset. I start to say, why am I feeling like this? I'm not allowed to feel like this. I'm a straight white guy. Like, I got it going. I got a good job. I've got good people. Why am I upset? I start to get angry with myself. Why are things so bad? Why am I so sad? What's wrong with me? Contemplative practice, right? Our Buddhist practitioners here know about this. This mindfulness work. Something that's very helpful for me. I often say I'm not good at meditation, and I still kind of believe that, but this has been very helpful for me. To be mindful about these feelings and to shift your mindset from the logical response that says, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I'm not allowed to feel like this. I've got things going for me. I have a lot of privilege. Towards, this is a normal human response. You're having a normal human moment. People feel things. It's okay to feel things. And shifts the emotional response from, why am I so mad? What's wrong with me? To, why am I so mad? What's going on here? It shifts the guilt away. It shifts the blame away from me. That curiosity paves the way to self-exploration. Right? That curiosity opens up the path for me. So in reading an article by Sister Caroline Van Kemenade, she says, when you do some of this contemplative practice, when you engage in curiosity, that it opens the way for self-care, that you are staring at your mind and noticing what happens, what you see. It goes from, why am I so angry, to, I am angry, to, oh look, that's anger. I wonder where that came from. And it keeps your conscience moving through the guilt so you don't get stuck, because it's so easy to get stuck. What an incredibly human and hopeful way to engage with stuckness. Because remember, while we might feel stuck, the time is fleeting. The time is fleeting. When you engage in this mindfulness, I've found, when you're able to move through this stuff, when you're able to see a little bit more of yourself, when you're able to forgive yourself, I have also found that you're then able to forgive others. That this practice of curiosity, that you do it with yourself, and then when someone does something to you that you don't like, cuts you off in traffic, for example, says something that's really hurtful, if you practice it enough, it kind of short-circuit your revenge response, right? Instead you think, I wonder what's going on in their life that they would do that. I wonder why they thought that was okay. I wonder why I'm having this response. I'm okay. Curiosity. It keeps the possibility of honest mistakes open. It keeps the possibility of restoration and reconnection open. So it both connects our emotions and allows us to use them in more healthy ways. So this week, this month, I invite you to do some self-exploration with love and grace, like we look at the flowers with. Even if you don't have it all figured out, or if you feel stuck. I hear so many people say, I'm not a spiritual person. I have so many doubts. I don't know what I believe. I say that's exactly what makes you a spiritual person. It's okay to have doubt. Author Elizabeth Gilbert is fond of going on stage, and she gives people permission, especially women, permission to feel what they feel and to dream what they dream. She's like, what are you feeling right now? I'm pissed off. You have permission to be pissed off. Feel it. So if you think that you're not a spiritual person because you have doubt, you have permission to have doubt. I'm wearing a robe. I can say this. It's authoritative. You have permission to have doubt. You have permission to have questions. You have permission to be a seeker. That doesn't make you a not spiritual person. It makes you more of a spiritual person. It makes you human. You have permission to engage in silent meditation, to pray with your feet, to pray to someone, to pray to nothing. You have permission. Because friends, it is too easy for us, especially as you use, to overanalyze, to try and compartmentalize, to try and label everything. We're human. We fail. We try again. We fail again. We figure it out. Right? It's all on the table. It's all mixed together in the bowl. All the petals, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the joys, the sorrows, the certainties, the doubts, the needs, the gifts. It's all blooming. So if you're going to go home and Google something curious. Search out some answers. Because the time is fleeting. And when I read the story of the flower communion, I think about Norbert Chapek. And I think about the beauty that he brought into the world, that his community brought into the world. I think about this gentle man who, up until his death, made it his mission to engage in curiosity, to engage in seeking beauty, to engage in people, helping people find ritual and community that was restorative. He faced the world boldly up into the concentration camps. He knew that a world of beloved community, inherent worth and dignity, of justice and peace was not only possible, but was hopeful. Indeed, was imminent. A world where there were no more school shootings, where there's fair school funding policies, a world where Black Lives Matter, where Native peoples have sovereignty, where all genders are treated as whole and holy, where all of this is possible. Because he always remained open to asking the questions, to seeing a world built of hope. So with my great curiosity and my constant Googling, I'm going to keep asking questions. I'm going to keep looking for answers up until the point of death, till my petals start to fade. And when that time comes, I hope to lay my head down on the good earth for a final time and think back about all those questions. And maybe I'll have a chance to ask a few more in whatever comes next. But if not, I will be content with knowing that I learned some of the names of the flowers, some of why the sky is blue, some of the stars in the sky. And I did learn who played Albus Dumbledore in those first Harry Potter movies. And I think about a quote from Albus Dumbledore who said, "To the well-organized mind, the curious mind, death is but the next great adventure." I look at these flowers, and I see the adventure here. May we go forth boldly, curiously, and always with faith. May it be so. Amen.